All right, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Artie Padilla, who is a member of our Transform Fresno Outreach and Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Courtney. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you had a great lunch and you are feeling satisfied. I am, as Courtney said, on the Oversight Committee. I'm proud to be on it and have been working with Courtney and the team at City Hall as we are navigating these projects. So welcome to this Transform Fresno 101 workshop. Courtney's going to be kind of sharing about how everything got launched, share about the projects, give you some basic foundational information, and hopefully you will walk away having just really good fundamental knowledge about what TCC is all about and how it got started. So Courtney, take it away.
Thank you, Artie. Let me go ahead and start my presentation. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. So, like Artie said, my name is Courtney Espinoza, and I'm the program manager for the City of Fresno's Transformative Climate Communities Grant, or what we like to call Transform Fresno. So I have an opportunity to administer the most ambitious community development effort the City of Fresno and its partners have ever undertaken. Let me go to the next slide. So I'm gonna do something a little different. I wanted to be a little bit interactive. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna try out this idea boards, and so I am going to stop sharing my screen. And I will put in the chat the link so that everyone can participate in this. And if you go ahead and click on the link, we just copy and paste it into your browser. And so you should be able to see the idea board site. So if you click on the plus sign next to the question and write a virtual sticky note for your answer, that would be great. This is anonymous, so don't worry. I don't know who's saying what, so say whatever you would like to say. And you can add as many sticky notes or information as you want. Looks like Bo, I'm not seeing the link in the chat. Check that again, Bo. I just put it in there. Artie, can you see that in your chat?
Yeah, I see it on mine.
Okay. Oh, you know what?
You sent it to the panelists.
I sent it to the panelists. You're right. My apologies. My apologies. I am sending it now to everyone. Okay, so you should have it. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the online idea boards, and hopefully it will pick up what you've been doing. Oh, good. We got some people putting in. It's great. So go ahead and keep adding things in. That would be great. So I'm asked regularly what other infrastructure projects the community is interested in when future funding becomes available. And so this idea boards will help me answer that question. So I really appreciate all your participation. And I'll go ahead and save that information for my use in the future. So I'm glad people are looking forward to the City College and Mariposa and Chinatown. EV chargers, that's great. How can BRT get into Southwest Fresno so we're connected to the rest of Fresno? That's a good question. So I'll take that to our facts department and see if they have any plans on doing that. I really appreciate that. I will follow up with that. Blackstone Corridor, I'm guessing that's also BRT for the Blackstone Corridor, or you just want to see more infrastructure on the Blackstone Corridor? That's great too. Awesome. So feel free to keep doing that. and keep adding information in. Even if I'm not seeing it now, I can go back to it and utilize that information. So I really appreciate everybody taking the time to go over that. So let me go back to my presentation. Can you see it? Oops. Sorry about that. Let me get to it. Trying to do too many things at one time. All right. Okay, can you see my slide number 3? What is TCC?
Yes.
Awesome. So what is TCC and how did we get here? So because the city's history of urban sprawl to the north, coupled with residents in Southwest Fresno, in the southwest part of the city, being exposed to some of the highest concentrations of poverty in the state, bad air quality, and little access to healthy food within our own communities, members of the community and city leadership lobbied the state of California to help find a solution, and we were extremely successful on this front. So we were able to partner with the state for an investment of $66.5 million in cap and trade funding from the Strategic Growth Council in the form of a grant called the Transformative Climate Communities Grant, or TCC grant. So prior to submitting the grant application, the city shows successful community engagement where the community would choose what type and where they wanted to see the investment within some parameters, right? So through a historical, inclusive community participatory process over the course of 4 months, the community chose the projects. Several community meetings were held where local organizations were encouraged to submit their ideas in an open forum to the community, more like a project reveal day. Working groups, focus groups, like I said, a project reveal day, and ultimately a vote of 165 community member steering committee, where members must work, live, or own property in the project area and attend at least 3 of those meetings to be eligible voter. There were several iterations of the Transform Fresno plan, but in the end, there was a nearly unanimous vote in favor of the current Transform Fresno plan. Only 1 person registered a no vote. So here we are. Here is a map showing the green outline of the Transform Fresno project area. $66.5 million in TCC funding matched with $122 million in local funding for a total of $188 million worth of investments into the 5 square mile project area. This equates to 24 different projects and 11 different local partners, all centered around environmental and economic solutions. The clock on these projects started in April 2019, and we have until July 2024 to complete all of them fully. Now with 3 years left, we have had 6 groundbreakings, and most projects are moving forward rapidly. Even though not all projects have reached the construction phase, I can assure you that all projects are moving forward in some capacity and are on schedule. Several different categories were eligible for investment through the TCC grant program. And here is the division of funding by project type for Transform Fresno. So as you can see, nearly half of our funding went to urban greening projects around the project area, meaning the community wanted to see trees, trails, parks, green spaces. So nearly 1,200 trees will be planted, a 9.5 acre park will be constructed, and 4 miles of trails will be constructed as well. A 56 unit 4-story housing complex was the qualifying housing for Transform Fresno, and that's located in Chinatown on the corner of F and Mariposa streets, and that's under construction right now. Over 8.5 acres of community gardens and community orchards will be planted to provide residents with access to healthy foods and fruits and vegetables for their family, and a distribution center will be built to house a food rescue and redistribution program along along with a commercial kitchen. 250 single-family homes will receive solar in their homes free of charge, and 6 different housing authority complexes will have solar installed to prevent rising rent and utility costs for their residents. 170 homes will have energy-saving items installed, such as water heaters, to decrease the cost of utilities for that homeowner. Another exciting Transform Fresno project is the City of Fresno, or the Fresno City College West Fresno satellite campus, which is going to be located in the heart of West Fresno. This campus will not only offer general ed classes for AA degree completion, but also mechanics, electric vehicle mechanics, and health assistant certification programs. Because of TCC dollars, the Fresno City College was able to leverage bond funding to contribute $70 million to this project. And I just found out recently that the Fresno City College West Fresno campus is going to have the largest mechanical program just west of the Mississippi. So that's a pretty big accomplishment right there. So to ensure greenhouse gas reductions, Transform Fresno will incorporate a clean shared mobility project. This will combine EV car sharing, EV bike sharing, van pools, and EV charging infrastructure, and an EV non-emergency medical transportation, providing several mobility sites around the project area. So here's a map of the projects will be located within the Transform Fresno project area. Another important piece to Transform Fresno is our workforce projects. So we have 2 workforce projects. The first will be training residents in the project area as low emission truck drivers. So 200 people will be trained free of charge, with funding for soft skills development and mentoring for each participant. The second project will train residents to be certified welders by the end of the program. 143 people will receive this training for free, along with soft skills and mentoring as well. And they'll also be placing them in well-paying jobs. Along with solar installation and weatherization projects, each of those will also have a workforce component to them, where the agencies will recruit and train residents from the project area to install solar and construction-related trades. Over 100 people will be trained in solar installation. After they have completed the program, they will all that they need to be hired by a company in that line of work. So I'm going to go through the project. So this is project number 1, the Monarch at Chinatown. It's a 4-story housing complex that will provide 56 single-family apartments adjacent to the high-speed rail station that is planned, and that station, I'm told, will be built in 2025. So a virtual groundbreaking was held on September 9th for this project, and it will take approximately about 18 months for construction, with the expected completion date of March 2022. This project is a partnership with the Fresno Housing Authority. Project number 2 is a partnership with Fresno EOC to provide residents with the project area with free solar and free weatherization measures on their homes. These solar systems are generally worth about $20,000, and the residents pay nothing and owns the system outright. They're responsible for maintenance moving forward. Weatherization comes in many forms: new water heaters, windows, doors, ceiling cracks, and minor construction. Project number 3 is a partnership with Grid Alternatives, where they will install solar on 115 single-family homes through July 2024. This equates to about 404 kilowatts of solar within the project area. These solar installs are 100% free to the homeowner, and they'll own their own system outright, saving them thousands of dollars in energy costs. These pictures represent the homeowner on the left by the grid sign, and 2 trainees that are gaining on-the-job experience on how to install solar. Another benefit to this program is that they're providing training and certification for residents interested in learning to install solar. Once these trainings have completed the program, they are ready for a permanent job at a solar company. Also, as a part of this program, the homeowners are encouraged to donate their time during installation and are actively involved in the process. We have many homeowners that like to get involved in the installation process. Kind of fun. So project number 4 is the multifamily solar project with Grid Alternatives and the Fresno Housing Authority. They have installed and are going to continue to install solar systems on 6 housing authority complexes, with one of those complexes being a senior-only complex. To date, 2 of those complexes have been completed, with 4 more to go. And like I had talked about earlier, between these 2 grid projects, we are training 102 folks for careers in solar installation, one of the fastest growing industries, especially in California. Project number 5 is a Class 1 trail along the Fanning Ditch alignment in Southwest Fresno, and will be built out by the City of Fresno's Public Works Department. This is located from Thorn Avenue almost to West Avenue, just south of California, and just under a mile in length. This project will plant over 100 trees along the trail and will install lighting for pedestrians and bicyclists. This is a part of the city's master trail plan and will hopefully connect all the way to downtown one day. The Green Trails Project is a partnership with the U.S. Green Building Council of Central California. The program includes a bicycle trail design outreach process and a bicycle education program for Project 5 on the Southwest Fresno Trail. Outreach will engage residents and stakeholders in the planning and design phase of the Southwest Fresno Trail while promoting the use of bike trails, educating riders on safe riding practices. The Chinatown Urban Greening Project number 6 will install urban greening improvements on Mariposa, F Street, Kern Street, and China Alley. Trees will be planted and lighting installed along the sidewalks at every 30 feet along all the streets represented by the blue lines. Permeable paving and community chosen design features will be installed along China Alley in yellow. This project will also be constructed by the City of Fresno's Public Works Department. And community engagement is underway now for the design components. The Clean Shared Mobility Network Project, or project number 7, will establish a low carbon transit system of electric vehicles and bicycle shares to provide low or no cost services throughout the project area. This will include an EV car share program with below market rates for lower income members to include 34 electric cars, EV van pool to employment centers with 8 vans, and electric bike share with a fleet of 200 bikes. So electric vehicle charging infrastructure, both level 2 and level 3 systems will be installed for the cars and the vans within the project area. There will also be a mobility hub that is stood up, providing a physical location for engaging with the program. This project consists of many partners within the mobility network, with Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce as the lead. 6 EV charging stations have already been installed at Fresno Housing Authority locations throughout the project area. And there will be more to come. Project 8 is the Annandale Mode Shift project, and will install approximately 14,070 square feet of sidewalk, approximately 1,196 linear feet of Class 2 bike lanes, and signage for approximately 1,000 linear feet of Class 3 bike lanes on East Annandale Avenue between South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and South Elm Avenue. This project closes a gap of pedestrian pathways on the street that links an elementary school, community building, health clinic, and current and proposed affordable housing sites. This project partner is Self-Help Enterprises. Project number 9 is the Mariposa Plaza activation project and will reflect a significant downtown plaza and enhance its connection to the future high-speed rail station. Renovations include tree planting, landscaping, and installation of permeable paving and a rainwater capture pavilion. The historic free speech and community event area of downtown will host a local artwork, canopies for shade, and a public pavilion. This will be a flexible space for a variety of outdoor events. The project will be constructed by the City of Fresno, and we are currently in the design stages of the project with construction planned for April 2022. Project 11 is the Southwest Urban Forest Expansion Project. The City of Fresno, along with partnerships from Every Neighborhood Partnership and Tree Fresno, have planted 295 trees along existing sidewalks in street medians, park strips, and parks in Southwest Fresno. The locations include the Jensen median from 41 to MLK, and that was 35 trees. Elm medians from Ventura to Jensen with 80 trees. Fruit and Jensen buffers with 150 trees. Tupman and Chandler Park with each have 15 trees. The oval picture of a tree planting event at Tupman Park and Chandler Parks. This was the past October 31st. It was part of the Keep Fresno Beautiful initiative. And I even got to get my family involved in the festivities. Those two handsome guys are my husband and son. So we are finalizing all expenditures now and anticipate a cost savings with this project. So we hope to be able to utilize that cost savings to plant more trees in the area. Project number 12, the Yosemite Village Permaculture and Urban Farm Incubator, lovingly called Yoville Community Garden, which is a lot easier to say, is a 7-acre plot of what was empty land and has now been turned into a lush green garden, as you can see from the top left picture. Together with Fresno Metro Ministry and the Fresno Housing Authority, this space has been transformed into a thriving resident-led community garden with native habitat, insectaries, fruit trees, a greenhouse, a walking path, composting sites, and shade pavilion. This garden uses organic and permaculture techniques, including non-mechanical, no-till, no-spray methods that promote carbon sequestration and water conservation. Garden activities are also integrated at the site with nutrition and cooking skills classes and job training entrepreneurship opportunities. There are also 3 half-acre demonstration parcels that will allow new farmers to learn these techniques on how to grow their own food. This project broke ground a little over a year ago, and as you can see from the pictures, it has blossomed into a lush garden for all to enjoy. So Project 13 is a park at MLK Magnet Core and is a project run by the City of Fresno Public Works Department. It consists of design and construction of a new 9.5-acre public park in the center of a planned residential development adjacent to the new Fresno City College West Fresno campus. And that's located on the west side of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard between Church and Jensen Avenues. There will be significant community engagement with residents to choose the design features for the park. Park construction will include landscaping of trees, low water use plantings, a walking path, irrigation, restrooms, utilities infrastructure, site furnishings, and LED lighting. Project number 14. So through a partnership with Royal Roots Farms and the Fresno EOC, the Inside Out Community Garden was created. Located at the Sunset Community Center, the Inside Out Community Garden consists of 3 raised bed planting boxes and 1 ADA accessible planting box. It also has 5 new fruit trees, a tool shed, a composting box, and a new picnic table on the site. Youth programming at this site consists of regular community events, teaching the kids proper nutrition and tasting a variety of recipes. Cooking demonstrations are also held, and are now streamed live on YouTube because we can't have in-person things going on yet. So we are utilizing technology to get the message out. As you can see, the kids that were involved every step of the way, to include planting vegetables, trees, and tasting the delicious food. This was obviously, this was taking place before the pandemic hit. So that's why no one's wearing masks. Project number 15, the Yeovil Community Orchard, is embedded into the Yeovil Community Garden site. Though originally planned for another site, Fresno Metro Ministry has taken on this project, allowing them to expand their community garden. It will consist of nearly an acre of over 120 citrus, stone fruit, and nut trees. They will plant and manage this orchard using organic and biodynamic practices. Located on the site will also be bioswales utilizing the Hugelkultur method, where you bury previously removed wood and biomass, which will capture carbon in the soil. The project aims to increase orchard management awareness, access to fresh fruits and nuts, access to shade, recreation, and positive health outcomes through picnic areas, walking paths, and experiential learning opportunities for the community. For projects 16 and 17, they are connected and located just south of the St. Rest Plaza on Elm Avenue and Reverend Chester Riggins Avenue. Project 16 will boost improvements to the Rest plus Food to Share site to achieve urban greening goals, heat island mitigation, landscape, hardscape, trees, irrigation systems, and drainage to reduce greenhouse gases. Project 17 will establish the St. Rest plus Food to Share Healthy Food Rescue and Redistribution Hub in Southwest Fresno, located on the same site. So once construction is complete, the Food Rescue Distribution Center will result in an annual recovery of over 1 million pounds of nutritious food that would otherwise be wasted and instead redistributed to families experiencing food hardship and lack of the financial means to purchase healthy food. The hub will also host a USDA kitchen to teach cooking and nutrition classes for residents in the community. This project is a partnership with Fresno Metro Ministry and St. Rest Baptist Church. Project number 18 will develop a Fresno City College West Fresno campus on Church Avenue between Walnut Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The park-like setting and large areas for urban greening, new bicycle and pedestrian paths of approximately 1 mile connect to the neighborhood's active transportation plan. The site will host over 450 trees to maximize shading around the buildings and pathways, landscaping with drought-resistant plants, outdoor study spaces, and green infrastructure for stormwater retention and groundwater recharge. The new campus will provide residents with workforce training and educational pathways and will offer technical certificates and degree programs leading to both traditional and green economy employment outcomes and increased community health benefits. The Fresno City College will be able to leverage $16.5 million of TCC funding with a $70 million school bond to create the campus. Construction began in October 2020, and the site will be accepting new students for the fall of 22 classes. The next 4 projects are leverage-only projects that were not funded by TCC funding, but are a part of the TCC program as a whole. These projects target residents and infrastructure in the project area and will prove to be an added benefit to the community. The Chinatown Property-Based Improvement District in Chinatown consists of a feasibility study, assessment of property, PBID framework, and a management district plan. The Plus Up Vehicle Program is a partnership with Fresno EOC and Valley Clean Air Now. This project will identify approximately 135 households that will qualify for the Plus Up program and will provide approximately 50 vehicle replacements, 20 home charging stations, 10 home service panel upgrades, and 40 PG&E clean fuel rebate program incentives. The City of Fresno Department of Transportation has increased transit frequencies from 30 minutes to 15 minutes on Route 38 from downtown Fresno to Jensen and Cedar. Also incorporated in this project is the purchase of two 40-foot electric buses and the construction of a charging station that will be occurring in the near future. The offsite improvements will install active transportation infrastructure, including trails, sidewalks, and bike lanes, as well as underground power lines, and make water, utility, and roadway improvements around the new Fresno City College West Fresno campus. The boundaries of the project are MLK Boulevard, Church, Jensen, and Walnut News. Okay, in partnership with Workforce Connection, the United Truck Driving School, this project will focus on building a workforce with the skills to operate and maintain advanced zero and near zero carbon emission vehicles. We will recruit and train 200 qualified residents, approximately 50 qualified participants per year. The program will offer a full recruitment plan, case management, job readiness, supportive services, and individual employment plans for enrolled participants. Free certified training from United Truck Driving School and job placement services will place candidates for employment at a 95 to 100% rate. The program is designed to train residents in good paying jobs while increasing awareness on the availability and benefits of zero emission vehicles for the trucking industry. Our next workforce project is a partnership with State Center Community College that will train 143 people, targeting recruitment in the project area to be certified skilled welders. Each participant that enters the program will have wraparound services to include supportive intake, mentorship, case management, training, and instruction, interpersonal skills lab, and employer outreach and trainee placement. The community engagement plan was developed to establish a framework for the community engagement throughout the project implementation. The main objectives are to provide consistent, transparent updates to the community, solicit community feedback in a coordinated manner, integrate community input into project implementation, and identify ways to activate TCC investments to ensure long-term sustainability. The rigorous but flexible plan leverages existing relationships with project partners while creating a space for formal inclusion of new community partners and the next generation of leaders across the three neighborhoods. Tasks and activities identified in this plan are included in 6 different categories: prime community partner, media and communications, direct outreach, event coordination, leadership development, and data and reporting. The Displacement Avoidance Plan outlines data, research, and policies that will be pursued through the city process in an effort to prevent displacement of businesses and residents in the project area. Our consultant Thrivance Group will provide a qualitative data analysis regarding potential displacement vulnerabilities and recommend programs and policies to mitigate potential displacement. The final report is currently being translated and will be out for public comment in early April to determine priorities for policy recommendations to the Fresno City Council. Be on the lookout for this Transform Fresno website. Educational workshops and informational presentations are being offered twice a year to residents and business owners within the project area, focusing on first-time home ownership and business development strategies. So as Fresno continues on a truly transformative journey, we hope that these investments are just the start. With a $188 million investment into the community, our goals are to improve the overall health of residents and provide environmental benefits through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, expand access to educational and training programs, provide high quality jobs for residents, and business development through the capacity building of local organizations. We hope in turn these investments will spark future investment and improve health for our community. So that is my last slide, and here is my information. Feel free to write this down, or you can also find this information on the Transform Fresno website. And so I'll go ahead and turn it over to Gabby to facilitate our question and answer session.
Yes, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or drop them in the Q&A option. I was checking throughout the presentation and I didn't see any. So as of now, we can ask people to raise their hands and we can call on you if you'd like to talk and just ask your question out loud. So I'll be looking for any raised hands.
Courtney, can I chime in on the thought about BRT? And I noticed someone mentioned Better Blackstone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this has been an area that actually some colleagues and I have really kind of been chatting with Greg Barfield at the city about the last couple of years. And honestly, a lot of it has stemmed from this TCC work. So to give you a kind of a visual, we've been thinking about a Southwest Fresno loop that would actually come down from Ventura into Southwest Fresno. Ventura turns into California, goes all the way west to Fruit, down to Church all the way east to Elm, and then Elm back up to Ventura, heading back towards either Blackstone, Southeast Fresno on the Kings Canyon, Ventura corridor. So, and we see anchoring projects as the City College campus as an anchoring project and the St. Rest Food Hub site on Elm as an anchoring project. And then also housing authorities doing some initial work on some property they purchased across Edison High. So we see those as 3 anchoring sites for that BRT loop. So that's just an idea that we've been throwing out to the city so that they can maybe possibly do some studies about what that could look like.
Great, thanks, Artie.
I don't see any questions so far or anyone raising their hand. I mean, even if anyone has any thoughts, feel free to drop it in the chat and we can read it out loud. And I'm also checking the Wova app to see if there's any questions, and I don't see any there. So, but that's completely fine. All right, I'm not seeing any. Courtney, was there anything else you wanted to add? Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, I think I covered it all. I know it's a lot of information, but I also wanted to point everyone back to the Transform Fresno website. It has a lot of this information that I talked about on it. You can see project-specific information, maps, pictures, drawings, conceptual drawings. If you want to learn more about each of the projects, you would just go ahead and click on that project page and see where they're at on the project and get that information. Always feel free to reach out through the Transform Fresno website, or you can also sign up for the newsletter, which we send out at least monthly information about what's happening in Transform Fresno, some exciting news, what's going on. You'll also get meeting updates and notices, opportunities for community engagement. That's kind of that's the information hub right there. So feel free to reach out there if you want more information on anything. And as always, you can contact me directly as well. Thank you all so much for attending, and I hope you learned some stuff about Transform Fresno and are excited about the future of Transform Fresno and the future of this project area. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Artie.